Flight 7 and decrease lest we forget, and we hope that you'll remember our mission to commemorate those 120,000 personnel.
The extra 300. Ah, well, look up to the right. So, let's say, Arthur, lead us through this for a moment, then we'll, for the first pass, and then we go back to Matt. So, Arthur, over to you.
Absolutely. So, we can see the Tucano there, the larger, dark aircraft. It's a turboprop aeroplane, and you've got my blades on the left and right of his wings. So, there's a four-ship, the blades display team, a single-engine aeroplanes, and I don't know what the makeup of the aircraft would be, but I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely thumping great aircraft this. Its primary armament was 8.50 caliber machine guns, and in the fighter bomber ground attack role it could carry 5-inch rockets or a bomb load of 2,500 pounds. Until 1967, initially as a frontline fighter and then as a fighter trainer. The almighty Jug Nelly, please give him a huge wave off. And just a little correct, they're neighbours in many respects. Neighbours, of course, in Norway being an interesting border with into these aircraft. As well as this aircraft and the MiG-15, they also have two Vampires as well, for which they got an award last year of Trondheim. joined the Norwegian US and got display qualified on it. And also in his part-time works over in Norway as a commentator as well, having a lot of kills as well. So a pretty flexible aircraft, also fitted with the cameras, but they're giving a lovely topside pass. Martin Tintin Tesley in the...
Off Tchaikovsky. As he pulls up at 5.5 G, he converts his speed into height, from his first manoeuvre, the Prince of Wales. Neil is known by most as ski and was born in Frimley, Surrey. He joined the Royal Air Force in 1997. On completion, partnership with Babcock International Group, it's constructed of a carbon composite material and has a 180 horsepower Lycoming piston engine. The Tutor has a top speed of 212 miles per hour and can achieve a maximum of 6 G, meaning that ski is subjected to forces 6 times. Furthermore, there are sponsorship schemes available to ease the financial burden of university life. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the 2019 Royal Air Force Tutor Display.
Lovely entry there. These aircraft were used by all three services for pilot training, battlefield and airtra, meaning a window. Got a great cruising speed up to 164 miles an hour and a maximum speed of 193 miles an hour. Still holds the record as the fastest single-engine helicopter manufactured to date. The aircraft flying today are, and they've got their own names, by the way. Clearly maintaining their position over the side is one of the most demanding part, with quite a strong wind coming in behind them, and Fenestron very often can be a little bit difficult when placed in the downwind position.
Germany and Canada, Kenya and Belize. Jim also spent a session displaying the Gazelle as part of the Army Air Corps' Blue Eagles display team, which was definitely the most exhilarating thing that he's ever done in his flying career.
And was used for night vision reconnaissance sorties, painted in a different colour scheme to what it was today. You hear the calls coming out from Jim there very clearly. And there he goes after that break. That is the Gazelle score.
And there's the sound of the beautiful engines. Today we have a Hurricane with a Merlin. Welcome to the wings from the Hurricane today. To the Hurricane. There we see Andy rolling out of the horseshoe turn. We see Mark coming out of the Dakota 3. As we see the Dakota come out of the Orbit 360. And there's that gorgeous sound of the Griffin and Merlin engines. Ladies and gentlemen, as the Airforce Battle of Britain Memorial Flight Display for 2019.
Skydivers based out of the Joint Service Parachute Wing in Netherhaven. To that end, they are of course professional skydivers, incredibly capable at their jobs. However, if you do find that they are in fact landing off, i.e. they're coming away from the drop zone and you find a parachutist coming towards you under canopy, experienced jumpers on the team are in fact deploying various different flags underneath them, which just only adds to the effect that the wind's going to have on them, making their task even harder, only going to show the professionalism and outright skill of all these members of the team. So, ladies and gentlemen, towards the DZ, I want you to give him a big round of applause when you see him touch down, making for a safe landing as he comes in at a rapid rate of knots before how hard and fast the turns that they're making are, only going to show the dynamic ability of these team members under canopy in what are incredibly aerodynamic and acrobatic canopies. It looks to me as though another team member's now approaching the drop zone as they make their final into-wind leg. Like I say, getting that airflow over the canopy, similar to the wing of an aircraft, before making a safe landing and flaring the canopy, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him a big round of applause for the free-fall crew. He's just at a few hundred feet and can clearly see. Now he's going to make his final turn into wind before in fact detaching from that flag, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have to cut away at the very last safe moment to ensure the safety of that piloting as he makes his way towards the DZ. As he now gets away, he's cut away that flag and he flares his canopy before making a safe and appropriate landing. Let's give him a big round of applause for both Sergeant Frank Miller and in fact Private Christopher Gray, our jump masters today.
Pushes forward on the stick, he'll feel the blood in his body rush to his head, and he's fighting hard to keep the aircraft level around the sky. This high U-turn is another example of this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Will be pulling up to 9 G-bar pass.
Welcome to the 2019 Blades Aerobatic Display Team. They're going to shuffle into box. And now for the next manoeuvre, all 4 aircraft are going to pull up into the vertical. 2 are going to perform opposition stall turns and 2 pushovers. And this is for the visually stunning Falling Angels. And now they're going to head directly towards us in staggered formation for our first break of the display. They're going to be pulling up to 8G here. Please do get your cameras ready for the iconic crossfire break. Absolutely wonderful there. You're going to hear the engines go quiet, and the pilots have requested when this happens, everybody here cheers as loudly as possible. Ready now. Oh, we can do better than that, Southport. And now it's time for James McMillan's first solo routine in the Blade Force. He came to the UK and joined the RAF, where he flew Harriers operationally. And then he joined the Red Arrows, became the leader of the synchro pair, and finished his RAF career as a Typhoon pilot, in fact, at RAF Coningsby. It's a delight to have him on board for a second season, and he's performing there a torque roll as he falls backwards through his own smoke. Wonderful solo routine from James there. Eyes to the... Like I say, please do send it into our social channels for a chance to win a flight with Mike Ling and experience this close formation aerobatics for yourself. It truly is. Flying just a few feet apart here, really demonstrating their Red Arrows heritage and their close formation aerobatic skills here. As I said, Andy Evans is leading the team today. He's a co-founder of the Blades from 2006. It's his 14th display season, but it's only his second display season leading the team, and he's been adding a few new manoeuvres. This next manoeuvre, the Tango Bend, is a new one for 2019, and again a fabulous photo opportunity for the underneath of the aircraft. Get ready for the Tango Bend. And now we'll see Blade 4 at the back, kick back out. I think they've absolutely smashed that here today. And if we stick the two aircraft together here, they're going to pull up and perform at the... That is truly phenomenal motorsport to watch, and I think you can catch the highlights on Free Sport later this week. And as James finishes his solo here, again eyes to the left. Enjoy the last couple of acts. I'll hand you back to George.
Yeah, well. Flying coming your way, and here, putting up in front of you now, please welcome the Fireflies. Flying Nigel Reed and John Corley, giving you a demonstration of outstanding pairs formation work, and something that takes literally years of background flying work, and then of course many weeks of formation practicing with flight. To 50, right up to 200 miles an hour. So a delightful cruising and a touring aircraft. And watch this manoeuvre now, it's great because as one completes a lovely loop, the other one will do the same and then just tuck in behind the leader once he completes that little barrel roll. It's a great piece of once they're visual, they can of course then run in to miss each other. Good photo shot coming up now. dedicated to all the ladies in the council team here have been working so hard to bring this to you for your enjoyment today. The Heart, you've been watching Nigel Reed and John Corley in the Fireflies. The 269, and then manufactured by Schweitzer Aircraft. Been in production for almost 50 years. It's got a single 3-bladed main fireworks on board, and just showing it's looking fantastic against the sky there today. Piston powered engine, and it is very much used as a cost-effective platform, generally for training and for agricultural pursuits as such.
Just walk away.
Now, Otto became famous very much for its unique and versatile airshow acts around the world, but was a legend in the North American. He was the man who entertained airshow fans all over the US, the UAE, Mexico. This was very much a driving force for him. Never attracted by airline flying, but he did do some single crew commercial stuff. Flown a lot of vintage aircraft, and also
welcome to the Royal Navy Helicopter Display Team, the Black Cats. The team hasn't been here for 3 years, unfortunately. Last displayed in 2016 with a pair of Wildcats, but it's so good to be back here. There's been a bit of a delay in coming back to Southport, owing to transition from one aircraft type to another. So the Wildcat you see in front of you now is a new aircraft. It's under 5 years been in service with the Royal Navy in the Baltic, in the Atlantic, and of course the Caribbean. For many of you will have seen all the press recently about Hurricane Dorian and the effect and the devastation it's had on the Bahamas. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary Ship Mounts Bay is in the Bahamas as we speak, providing that key urgent support, which they started, I think is probably the only aircraft today to be displaying going backwards at some 60 miles an hour before turning over the shoulder and proceeding back out again. And of course, like miles an hour, it weighs about 6 tons, which is 6,250 kg. I talked about the operations going on in the Bahamas at the moment, just developing the final stages of the missile systems that the aircraft will be operating shortly. Will be the Sea Venom and also the Martlet weapons, which will be against small vessels, fast attack craft, and things like that. Coming towards the end of the display, it comes now low and fast, ramping up to about 160 knots, which is about 180 miles, affected by the hurricane. So, in the right-hand seat today is Lieutenant Chris Rebick. He's the just underneath the nose is the radar, and the two linked together means that the aircraft can search out to quite a long range, and then, of course, identify. And identifying what it's looking for and what it's looking at is the most important aspect. As you see there, the aircraft's dipped its nose, shows you the main rotor head. The main rotor head is a marinized version, and this means that when the aircraft's on the deck of a ship and shut down, all of the rotor blades can be folded back, which will enable the helicopter to be stored inside the hangar of the frigate over towards the vessel it's trying to stop. Something like this. And that completes the Wildcats demonstration today. As I said, it's been a complete...
To demonstrate with ejector seats and a redesigned airframe, pulling up a very neat pairs formation there. In total, over over 200 of the T3s were delivered right up until 1962, but it was really the pressurized Mark V version that led us into what you're now seeing, which was the armed export version of the Mark V, which turned into the Strike Master. Version going to Sri Lanka, Kuwait and Sudan, and then armed with 7.7 machine guns as well. Another good photo opportunity about now. Now entering what they call the carousel. As they say in the business, he spent time on that as well before going back here to instructional duties. Pretty neat bit of shooting there. Still very manoeuvrable, but it reduces the risk of numerous hydraulic pipework. Coming in there with advanced rocket attack, and we're followed with a couple of 500-pound bombs, I'm sure, as we go through that terrific scene. There they go. Coming in fast from the left-hand side. And rolling. Delightful sight. You can now see the plan form silhouette of those two aircraft. And there it goes, the strikey split. From this, they'll go into their carousel. And very neatly done indeed. 82 Strike Master since 2004. Running, here they come running in now, advanced rocket attacks, well in advance of the aircraft. Absolutely outstanding performance. What a great sight that is, and I hope captured on many a camera as well. But I think you'll agree, Richard doing his best there to get a slightly lopsided smiley face. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please welcome Richard Goodwin. On the propeller. If he hogs there long enough, he'll go into a gyroscopic effect, but he's not. He's just pushed it a little bit over the top there. And of course, he there in the Smithsonian is the position it really ought to be in. As he gets to the top there, you can see he does an awful lot of maneuvers, flicking. The original aircraft were powered by tiny little engines, 90 horsepower in the 40s. But then, of course, as they improved their famous British special aerobatic teams, such as the Rothmans team, and the involvement of the likes of Brian Lacombe, really famous names who did some lovely, look at that, throwing that into a few more rolls and tumbles there as well. He just never gets, what can we say, gets to fly in a straight line very long. Gets wiring of those two wings that you can see. And these are a relatively new wing design as well, as he develops the aircraft up into brings the standard aero engine well into the 21st century, and with Formula One technology clearly giving it greatly improved performance. It's also 25 pounds lighter than the engine on his other aircraft, G-Whiz, which you have seen, the bright red aircraft he normally flies, but giving him a bit more power as well. ready to roll there, really winding it up. And there's not much you can do about negative G at all. Just have to train for it, and of course after 10 minutes of this you really do need a break, right up there with a couple of Formula 1 drivers in terms of their preparation. You see almost with lows 4, 5G, G coming on a bit stronger now pointing it upwards towards the sky. He's rolling it the other way, and he just let the speed decay and hold it there until he runs out of forward speed altogether, gyroscopically turning the aircraft on what's left of the propeller rotation, and then just letting it tumble back down now through its own smoke, rolling it as he does that, and then the power comes back on again. I'll be watching carefully because it's not his standard, but here he is now, hovering this extraordinary aircraft. The new wings you see there, new blade wings, referred to as SAW, SAW SAW blade wings, designed by Eddie Sorenman, and a very close collaboration between Richard and him on developing this particular aircraft, and getting all the structural analysis right to get this new aircraft approved, and I think looking absolutely splendid as well in this colour scheme we have here today. And just extraordinary, isn't it? How is this possible? What he's going to do next, he's playing with an American engineer with small jet engines, and he's going to fit these little jet engines to the forward side of the fuselage close to the farewell. An absolutely outstanding display from a very, very dedicated aerobatic air display performer indeed.
Away from the crowd on the B-axis, so a very momentous occasion for 72 Squadron and the Tucano aircraft. The Tucano display team would like to thank a few companies for their support this year. A special thanks go out to students graduating from this aircraft will go on to fly the new Hawk T2 that is based at RAF Valley in North Wales. That's 4.5 times the force of gravity on his body. As Liam pulls the aircraft hard around the sky, he'll feel the force of nearly half a ton pushing him into his seat. Liam will now. And the Royal Air Force, Tucano! That distinct noise you'll hear throughout the display is the operated Garrett TPE turboprop engine fitted to the RF Tucano by Shorts in Belfast. This particular engine boasts more power than the original. And pushing hard on the stick now, Liam is feeling all the blood in his body rush towards his head, and he's fighting hard to keep the airplane level around the sky. This is one one of many manoeuvres taught to all students as they progress through basic fast jet training, teaching young aviators the handling skills required to appreciate the complexities involved.
And delightful music, because these guys are masters at carving delightful shapes in the sky. They are indeed a hugely popular act to welcome here at Southport, the Fireflies. Fireflies and their heart. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Fireflies complete for this evening. Fourth generation fighters. Sweden needed a strong air defence built around a newly developed jet propulsion technology. And development of this began just after the end of the war. So after researching the data from the German swept wing propulsion, of course, towards the end of the Second World War as well, and the first jet-powered fighter aircraft as well. And even in the design of the elliptical wings on the Spitfire, Heinkel was already, their factory already involved in those sort of designs. But a member of the early designs, you can see here that it's got a 25-degree swept wing, a great effect in reducing drag. Very key when any aircraft approaching the sound barrier. 30 of them being exported to Austria, where they were in service right up until 1973. Please welcome Stellan Andersson in the Saab 37 Viggen. Now putting on a bit more power now, meaty design. And this is more reminiscent of the performance of the Viggen, I can assure you. Initially developed as a replacement for the Saab 32 Lansen in the attack role and the Draken as a fighter. Roll there from Stellan, and a good opportunity for you to get a real close eye on this. And you can see what was at the time a radical configuration, the conventional Delta. The result of that deal and signing a technology agreement, it gave the Swedes access to advanced US aeronautical technology, which made it possible to take low-speed pass now. Joined the Air Force in Sweden in 1969. It's been displaying this aircraft for at least 15 years now. Tensing of the muscles and launching up to a good speed range of this aircraft with the undercarriage down in the dirty configuration.
they go up and down, and in perfect pairs formation yet again. These girls facing winds of up to 150 miles an hour, still happy to do their own acrobatics on the top of the walking act of the 20th century. 24, those tips going supersonic. Doing all those aerobatics, not a care in the world, and all at the same time as flying at 150 miles an hour. Absolutely tremendous roar again. Today as well. Coming up now for another great crossover at the middle of the centre. Will it be a roll? Will it be a loop? And it's a roll, and what a fabulous sight that is. Stuff, isn't it?
Tyson is very experienced. This absolutely fabulous aircraft, showcasing its supreme capability, taking it all. The effect means all the blood is being pushed to his head, and it's feeling like it's being pushed out of the seat.
That's the way to leave an airshow, Mike.
Typhoon display.